Now, Tegan and Sara are identical twins who've been in the music business for 13 years and are very big at home in Canada. They have 6 albums behind them, a loyal fan base. They were nominated for a Grammy and are known as an indie rock band. This is Back in Your Head from 2007. But their new album, Heartthrob, shows a change in style to a more mainstream pop sound. This is I'm Not Your Hero. Tegan and Sara, welcome. Why have you decided to change the style of your music?
It's funny to hear sometimes, like, Back in Your Head that you played, and then to hear a song off the new record, because I think sometimes we're very desensitized. You know, we don't hear the change really dramatically, but sometimes you hear them next to each other, and even the way our vocals were treated, you know, on the first song you played in 2007, we were really into like layering our voices and putting strange effects on them to almost create a bit of a latency, you know, like a real audio effect. But I think like in a broad sense, it's just about trying to make records that sound different and challenge, you know, our listeners, but also ourselves. You know, when we're performing them live, the higher fidelity, the more you have to practice, and the, you know.
But some of the critics have been saying, look, you know, they're deliberately going out for a bigger, more commercial.
And we are.
Which we are.
We are.
Yeah.
And we're not embarrassed to say it.
No, we're not.
No,
Sarah and
heavens no.
I mean, as you pointed out, we've been playing for 13 years, but we've actually been writing since we were 15, and this year we're 32. And when we sat down to write Heartthrob, one of the biggest things that kept coming up is that, you know, what haven't we done yet? What countries haven't we gone to? What goals haven't we accomplished? And as queer artists, but also as women, we've experienced a lot of sexism and homophobia in the industry, but we've also experienced enormous success, you know, all over America and Canada, Australia, even over here in Europe. And I just felt like every step we take into the mainstream, every bite we sort of get, you know, helps change the way that pop music and mainstream looks. And if we can be a part of changing the landscape and increasing diversity, why not? And if that means getting higher production, sign me up. And I think that it didn't compromise the quality of the song. So
now, you've just described yourself as queer artist. You are very open about being lesbian and holding feminist views. Why has it been important to you to be so open about your private lives?
Our mum would kill us.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't ever talk about it. It was just sort of, it was so naturally a part of the narrative when we started our career at 17, 18 years old. I don't think that we were interested in being invisible. We had spent a lot of our lives around a very outspoken feminist mother, and also very supportive stepfather and father, and our social circle was very supportive, and our identity, we didn't want to be ashamed of it. You know, we are twins and we are gay, and we didn't feel that...
Were you ashamed of being a twin?
Well, sometimes. But I think we didn't want those signifiers to be reductive. You know, we wanted to be able to say that just because we were gay and because we were women didn't necessarily mean that we're going to be marginalized to only gay people and only women. We wanted it to be part of the story, but we didn't want it to take away from the broader, you know, picture. So
what about your appearance? I mean, short hair, tattoos, T-shirts, nice jackets, not jeans this morning, but photographs I've seen you
Mine are
in.
kind of jeans, but they're nice ones.
They're black trousers. I can't see whether they're denim or not. But how much pressure has there been on you to glam up?
You know, it's funny because I look back now at the first few years that we were in the industry, and I think to myself, well, we could have put a little makeup on or tried a little harder. You know, you just didn't think. I mean, when we started, it was 1999. The internet obviously existed, but it wasn't as relevant as it is right now. And you just didn't think, oh, every time I step on stage, people are going to take photos and put them up on the internet. And now you do. I mean, every time I step out for a press, you know, event or an industry event or a show, I think 5 million photos of me are going to go up on the internet 10 minutes after I finish. And so it's partly, I mean, it's never been pressure from anyone except ourselves to, you know, look our best. And I don't think it's any different than anyone else probably. But certainly over the years, we were told quite straight out that, you know, our look and some of what we were doing was probably limiting us in terms of like pop mainstream success. But I think that we weren't ready for pop mainstream success, so the change and the growing up and our look evolving has been very natural. I think it's just been part of the evolution that, you know, we've sort of been a part of. So
now, I haven't addressed a single question to Tegan or Sarah.
Yeah.
I've just thrown out questions, and you kind of answer.
we take turns.
You answer interchangeably. How easy, though, is it for twins, identical twins, to work together in the way that you do?
We always say that we've never had an experience with being in a band without each other, so it's sort of so ingrained in us to share and to collaborate that I think we've found a way to manage the complexities of being siblings and business partners, and you know, like we've been doing it for a while now. That it's, I mean, after 13 years, I don't think we were as good at it in the beginning. Obviously, you develop skills and you see what works and what doesn't work, but you know, I think we love
The true answer is there's a handler that has a taser, like a shock, and we have bracelets, and if we talk out of turn, they give us a quick little, you know, shock.
We know what's embarrassing and what isn't. We try to be professional, and you know, I think that sometimes knowing that there are questions that we prefer to handle, like sometimes I like to talk about certain things and Tegan likes to talk about certain things, so you know, it's all about being generous and allowing each other space to give each other, you know, talking time.
Well, we're going to hear you live now.
Yeah.
You have a guitar and a keyboard between you, and we have Ted Gowans on guitar and John Spence on keyboard, and I'd like you to play I Was a Fool.
Do you remember I searched you out, how I climbed your city's walls? Do you remember me as devout, how I prayed for your cause? I stood still, it's what I did. Love like ours is never fixed. Well, I stuck around, I did behave, saved you every time. I was a fool for love, I was a fool for love, I was a fool, I was a fool. Then you blamed me and blocked me out. How long did you think I'd last? Then you disappeared for weeks to pout. How many times could I pack? But stand still is all I did. Love like ours is never fixed. Well, I stuck around, I did behave, saved you every time. I was a fool for love, I was a fool for love, I was a fool, I was a fool. If you're worried that I might have changed and left behind all of my foolish ways, you best be looking for somebody else without a foolish heart, a foolish heart. But stand still is all we did. Love like ours is never fixed. Well, I stuck around, yeah, I did behave, saved you every time. Well, I was a fool for love, I was a fool for love, I was a fool, I was a fool for love, I was a fool, I was a fool for love.
Tegan and Sara, accompanied by Ted and John, and the new album is called Heartthrob. That was lovely. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.